First up, let's tell you about the crucial meeting that took place between US President Donald Trump and Ukrainian President Zelensky with a focus on ending the Russia-Ukraine war. After the meeting, Donald Trump has said that a breakthrough to end the war in Ukraine was getting a lot closer than ever as the talks yielded little tangible progress on the peace deal. Trump said that he had an excellent discussion with the Ukrainian leader, adding that the duo had made a lot of progress towards ending the Russia's invasion of Ukraine. On the other hand, Zelensky said that he and Donald Trump discussed 20-point peace plan and that they were 90% of the way towards reaching a deal. The Ukrainian president also added that the military aspect of the proposal were 100% agreed to by both the parties. So these are the comments that have come in after that crucial meeting took place between Donald Trump and Zelensky in Florida. Have a look.
Well, I think look, you can say 95%, but I don't like to say percentages. I just think we're doing very well. We could be very close. There are one or two very thorny issues, very tough issues, but I think we're doing very well. We made a lot of progress today, but really we've made it over the last month. This is not a one-day process deal. This is very complicated stuff. But I think when the president says 95, I think, could be close to 95%.
Dear colleagues, first of all, I would like to thank President Trump for a great meeting at this amazing place in his home in Mar-a-Lago. And we had a really great discussions on all the topics, and we appreciate the progress that was made by American and Ukrainian teams in these recent weeks. Special thanks to Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner, and thank you for their engagement and full commitment, and also to our team, and first of all to Rustem Umerov and General Gnatov, and to all our teams. And we discussed all the aspects of the peace framework, which includes, and we have a great achievements, 20-point peace plan, 90% agreed, and US-Ukraine security guarantees 100% agreed. US, Europe, Ukraine security guarantees almost agreed. Military dimension 100% agreed. Prosperity plan being finalized, and we also discussed the sequencing of the following actions. And we agree that security guarantees is the key milestone in achieving lasting peace, and our teams will continue working on all aspects. We also had a joint productive call with European leaders, like President Trump said already, and a lot of leaders, including NATO and EU. And we agreed that our teams will meet in upcoming weeks to finalize all discussed matters. And we agreed with President Trump that he will host us, and maybe in Washington, European leaders and Ukrainian delegation, yes, in January. And Ukraine is ready for peace. And once again, would like to thank President Trump for a warm welcome and substantial discussion. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. President.
And for more on this, let me go across to consulting editor Srinjoy Chaudhary. Good morning, Srinjoy. Trump has said that there's a breakthrough. On the other hand, Zelensky has also said that 90% of the peace plan has been agreed upon. So take us through the outcomes of this crucial meeting and what is expected in the coming days.
Neither Trump nor Zelensky has actually given any detail about where the 20-point peace plan is. But there are really two issues that have to be looked at very clearly. Now, what does Russia want? What does Ukraine want? And what results from all of this? First of all, the issue of land for peace. Now, this is a phrase you've heard in the regarding the Middle East in the past. But Russia wants what was a part of Ukraine, that is Donetsk and Luhansk, and part of eastern Ukraine, where the fighting is going on largely. And that fighting has been going on for over 3 years. Over 1 million people have been killed and injured in this fighting. Now, the question is Ukraine going to give up that territory? Much of that territory has been taken by Russia in these years of fighting, but there is still a part that Ukraine is holding on to. Will Ukraine give that up? And what will Ukraine get if it does give it up and if peace comes, does it get security guarantees? Which means that if Ukraine is attacked again, will American troops come? Will European troops come from Britain and France and Germany come and protect Ukraine? That is the security guarantee Ukraine wants. Now, you heard President Zelensky say that we are 100% on security guarantee. But beyond that, we don't know for sure. But these are the two main issues, really. One is the land issue, and the other is the security guarantee issue. Now, we've heard President Zelensky, we've heard President Trump, but President Trump said that he had spoken with President Putin before the meeting, and he will speak with President Putin after the meeting. Has President Putin agreed to that? That's another major issue. Also, on the positive side, you've seen European leaders, at least 2 or 3 of them, including President Macron of France,
right,
being happy about it. Now, the final 5% is not going to be easy. And even President Trump admits that it will not be so. But let's hope it does happen. Because, as I said, over 1 million soldiers and civilians have been killed and injured in these 3 years of fighting. Can you imagine 10 lakh soldiers and civilians killed and injured in the fighting, and probably more than 1 million? So let's hope that this gets sorted out. But the only positive you can see is the links between the relationship between Zelensky and Trump. It's a lot better than a previous meeting when Zelensky arrived and he was asked, why aren't you wearing a tie? So things have moved forward, but how much forward we will know in a short while.
Absolutely, and even though Donald Trump has said that there is a breakthrough, there has been no tangible outcome as far as the crucial meeting is concerned. Stay on with us, Srinjoy. In fact, the two leaders also spoke with the European leaders, and this is the reaction that is coming from the French president. This is what he has mentioned on social media. Along with several other European leaders, I took part this evening in an exchange with President Zelensky and Donald Trump. I then also spoke with President Zelensky. We are making progress on the security guarantees that will be central to building a just and lasting peace. We will bring together the countries of the coalition of the willing in Paris in early January to finalize each country's concrete contribution. So this is what the French president has posted on social media, clearly going on to say that yes, we are making progress on the security guarantees that will be central to building a just and a lasting peace. That in fact remains the focus. And as my colleague also pointed out, there was also in fact a conversation that took place between Donald Trump and Putin. We are learning that just before holding a meeting with Ukrainian President Zelensky at the Florida resort to discuss the Ukraine peace deal, there was a phone call that took place between Putin as well as Donald Trump, which lasted for around 2.5 hours. And it's seen as a major development in the ongoing efforts to end the war in Ukraine. Now, calling this phone conversation with Putin a good and a very productive one, Donald Trump insisted that Russia and Ukraine are closer than ever to signing a deal to end this conflict. The phone call between the two leaders took place as the Ukrainian president landed in Florida to discuss a possible peace plan with Donald Trump to end the 3-year-long Ukraine-Russia war. Zelensky arrived in U.S. on a Sunday, meeting Donald Trump in Florida, where he discussed a 20-point peace plan with security guarantees for Ukraine being, in fact, the point of contention. But let's tell you more about this telephonic conversation that Donald Trump had with the Russian president, which was described as a friendly one, a very business-like conversation. In fact, this is what the Russians have described it as. The two leaders agreed to speak again after Trump's meeting with Zelensky. So all eyes will be on when this crucial next telephonic or maybe a personal meeting between Donald Trump and Putin will take place. In fact, that remains to be seen.
We had a terrific meeting. We discussed a lot of things. As you know, I had an excellent phone call with President Putin that lasted for over 2 hours. We discussed a lot of points, and I do think we're getting a lot closer, maybe very close. The President and I just spoke to the European leaders. They were President Emmanuel Macron of France, President Alexander Stubb of the Republic of Finland, President Karol Nawrocki of the Republic of Poland, Prime Minister Jonas Gahr Store of the Kingdom of Norway, Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni of the Italian Republic, Prime Minister Keir Starmer of the United Kingdom of Britain and Northern Ireland, Chancellor Friedrich Merz, the Federal Republic of Germany, Secretary General Mark Rutte, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO, President Ursula von der Leyen of the European Commission. We spoke to all of those great leaders. They're all great leaders. And we had a great talk with them after we were completed. We thought it was appropriate to speak with them. And our meeting was excellent. We covered, somebody would say 95%. I don't know what percent, but we have made a lot of progress on ending that war, which is really certainly the most deadly war since World War II, probably the biggest